Nadine, pleased to meet you, man. My name's Cliff.
Hello.
What do you think?
I feel like animal abuse is bad.
Yeah.
But it depends how you use it. Like, what do you mean animal abuse?
That's the question. Let me ask you 2 or 3 questions. Have you got 5 minutes? Yeah. Right. So, tell me what you think of animals in general.
I feel like animals are really beneficial to the society that we live in now. So.
Yeah. In what way?
In ways of company.
Yes, I agree.
Ways of helping out, and I guess in a bad way of, food.
Yeah. So, okay. Let me ask you the other couple of questions first before I tell you why I'm here. So, animal abuse or people who abuse animals, what do you think of that? What's your thoughts? I'm not here to catch you out, by the way. I'm here just to talk to people and have conversations.
There's 2 ways to seeing it, though. There's like people that abuse, beat animals and stuff like that, and then there's people that kill animals for product and stuff.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how you phrase it.
It depends on how you grade abuse. How would you grade abuse? What would you describe abusive behaviour to an animal?
I mean, in my eyes, abuse would be beating an animal.
Okay. So now's the tricky question. I want to ask you, and I'm not judging you, by the way, or trying to catch you out, about the animals that we send in the slaughterhouses, the ones that we typically eat and wear. How do you feel about what we do to them, and would you consider that to be abuse? And could you justify it in any way?
I mean, of course it's bad. Of course, slaughtering animals, it's not a good thing to do, but at the same time, we live in a society that derives off killing to survive.
Well, no, I'm going to disagree with you there. That's what I thought too. I thought I had to eat animal products to survive. And I found out with better information that I can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet and by buying vegan products. I am 56. I haven't eaten an animal product. I don't care what age I am. I'm just saying to you, since I was 19, I haven't eaten any animal products. So I'm living proof that you can survive and thrive without eating animal products or without wearing animal products like leather and wool and all these products. So if you have that realization that you don't need to, it's not for survival. We're not living in a tribe somewhere where you may have to kill an animal to survive. We can walk into Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Asda or any of these supermarkets, or I was up round at the market there just up here a few minutes ago, and there's so many stalls selling plant-based vegan products. Well, if you've got all those to choose from, then here's a tricky question for you. What would be the justification for buying the animal-based product when animals had to suffer terribly and had their life taken away from them, when you can just pick another product instead? What would you think of that? Have you ever thought of it that way before?
I mean, there's always a way to think about what to eat.
Of course.
But then there's people sometimes if you want to bulk up, get a better body, a better physique, you gotta eat animal based.
You don't.
I mean, plant based isn't gonna help you as much though.
Well, so that is a misconception. I competed at a high level sport for 30 years as a cyclist on a plant-based diet, but there's so many athletes, man, eating a plant-based diet these days. So what sport are you into? Sport in any way?
Yeah, I'm a footballer.
Football as in soccer football, because I follow football and American football, and when people say football, I never know which. What team do you support?
I support Arsenal.
So there was an Arsenal player about 2 years ago, was fully vegan. I'm trying to remember his name. There's NFL athletes that are vegan if you follow American football. I mean, those are the fittest, strongest guys in the world. One of the strongest men in the world is a guy called Patrick Bavumi, and he holds world records in strength. He's vegan. Mr. Universe a few years back, a guy called Barney Duplessis was vegan. Lewis Hamilton's vegan. Novak Djokovic is vegan. Venus and Serena Williams. I don't know if they're vegan, but they eat a plant-based diet. And that's just a few. Like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, plant-based. They're 2 of the superstars in the NFL. Tom Brady is considered one of the best players. He's called the GOAT in American football. He played until he was 46, man. That's completely unknown, and the reason he was able to play for so long is because eating a plant-based diet gave him the longevity. So if all those people can eat a plant-based diet. You've been taught that you need animal products for protein. Animal products are, yes, you do get protein from their package deal as well, man. You get saturated fat, you get cholesterol, you get the antibiotics that the animals are fed to keep them alive. So it's actually bad for you in the long run. You can get all the protein you need from plant-based products. I'll give you a card in a second that you can watch a thing called Game Changers, where it follows athletes that are eating plant-based. So, if Novak Djokovic can eat plant-based, he's vegan, and he's the best tennis player in the world. Well, then anybody can do it. So anybody can do it. Don't believe those myths you're taught at Stillman you have to eat. Protein is in all plants. Protein originally comes from plants. Let me tell you one simple thing to debunk that for you in a second. So our closest relatives in the animal kingdom are the great apes. So if you look at a greyback gorilla, 240, 250 kilograms, massively muscular animals, what do they eat? They eat leaves, so they can get all the protein.
At the same time, they prey.
What's that?
They prey on the weaker to eat.
Gorillas don't. Well, they maybe fight and they maybe kill other animals, but they eat 99% plants. And they can grow massively muscular. Cows are 700, 800 kilograms. What do they eat? They eat grass. Well, if your body needs protein and they get all the protein they need from grass, well then you and me can get it from plants. There's loads of plant-based sources like lentils and chickpeas and all sorts of stuff where you can get enough protein.
But there's another point.
Yeah, go for it.
There's people that are willing to go on a plant-based diet, but there's also people that can't give up. Like it will take a lot for them to leave an animal-based diet to go to eat plants.
I get it. So here's how I think about that. If you go onto a plant-based diet for yourself or for your health, well then you might find it difficult. I don't find it difficult at all, because if I go into a shop and I go to buy an animal product, where I come from in Northern Ireland, I'm surrounded by farms and slaughterhouses, and I've been there on the farms and in the slaughterhouses, and some of the stuff we do to animals, man, is fucked up, pardon my language. It's fucked up. And if somebody did it to a dog or to another human being, there would be a public outcry about it. But because we consider them to be farmed animals, we don't even consider them as we consider them to be things, commodities that we can just eat and wear and kill and do with what we like. So I put myself in their situation, the victim's perspective, like you should do with any injustice. So if you're talking about homophobia or racism or any of those things, you have to look at that from the victim's perspective and say, well, if I was that person, I wouldn't like that. I can put myself in their shoes and say, well, that's freaking terrible. I don't want to be that person, therefore I'm not going to do that. So I can put myself in the position of those animals and see what they go through and look at it from their perspective. Well, then that makes it easy, because I see it from how they see it. Does that make sense? And what they go through and what they suffer. And then for me, a slight inconvenience of, I can't eat this product but I can eat that one, or I can't wear those shoes but I can wear those shoes instead. That makes it really easy when you consider the victim in that situation. What do you think of that?
Also a big thing about clothes as well.
Yeah, mine. I'm going to show you one thing. So you see my shoes? Those are vegan super dry shoes. Just one company that does vegan shoes. Dr. Martens do a full range of vegan Doc Martens that are exactly the same and look exactly the same as the animal skin ones. Faux leather. Most of the footballs these days that you're playing with and your football boots are made out of fake leather, because like Lorica, because it totally outperforms. Man, when I was young I played football and the footballs were made out of proper animal skin leather. We used to soak up the water, and you started off a game in the rain and the ball weighed by the end of the game it weighed about 5 times as much at the end. So now that we're using synthetic leather for all these things, just outperforms animal skin. Same with clothing. You can buy jackets and shoes and everything that are made. I guarantee those are leather, right? And I'm not judging you for it. These are vegan. These are made from faux leather, fake leather. Can you really tell a difference?
A bit. You can see if...
Well, I've had these for a while, man, and I wore them at a festival recently and they're a bit grubby. Yours are newer and cleaner than mine, but generally, Is it worth stabbing somebody in the neck, hanging an animal upside down, taking their life away from them for that? Even if there's like a little tiny difference, and with food products, if the taste's slightly different, I mean, what's more valuable to you? Let me ask you this question. Say you can eat a vegan burger and a meat burger, right, made from an animal, and it tastes a little bit different, say 5 or 10% different, because most of the stuff these days tastes pretty much exactly the same. So let's say it tastes a little bit different. What's more valuable to you? A little difference in looks, or a little difference in taste, or an animal's life? What's the more valuable thing to you when you think about it that way?
I say an animal's life.
Yeah, of course, man. That's because you have a good heart. That's, you know. So yeah, that's why I'm here today. And you see across the street here, I'm working with this Gen V, it's Generation Vegan. So every 30 minutes in the world, man, at the minute, we kill as many animals as we killed in the entire 6 years of the Second World War. It's somewhere between 40 and 60 million every 30 minutes. Crazy. The level of suffering is unbelievable. Let me tell you one more thing before you go. There's a slaughterhouse near my house where I live, in a town called Ballymena. It's a pig slaughterhouse. Do you know what we do to those pigs when they go there? How we stun them and kill them? Have you ever seen anything like it?
Nope.
What do you think we do to them?
Of my imagination, I would think grab them, just put them down straight.
Yeah. What would you think if I told you we put them in gas chambers?
Gas chambers?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Sick?
That is, I think that's overkill at that point.
Yeah. Man, it's terrible. So they say it's the most humane method. Pigs are super intelligent, by the way. Pigs are the fourth most intelligent animal. I don't know if you know that. So it's animals, or it's humans. Dolphins and whales, corvids like ravens and rooks are super smart, and then pigs, way smarter than dogs. Pigs are smarter than primates, like chimpanzees and stuff, yet they're super smart. So you see when the pigs arrive at the slaughterhouse, they know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know if they know they're going to go into gas chambers, but they hear the screaming from inside. And animals know from another animal's scream. It's like a warning to them. Man, they're terrified. They force them inside, they stand in a line, like a metal or like a concrete chute, and they put them in a cage, 3 or 4 at a time, close the cage door and drop them down into a carbon dioxide gas chamber, which is suffocation. Carbon dioxide's like taking the oxygen away from you, like somebody literally suffocating you. Man, you should hear those suffering of those animals for about a minute and a half, the screaming of them. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad, I'm just telling you the reality of what we do to them. For a piece of bacon or a pork sausage, when you can just buy a vegan sausage instead in every supermarket, I don't think it's worth it, man, do you?
I mean, it's not worth it.
No.
But at the same time, it's the society we live in.
It is.
There's nothing we can change about that.
Well, I think society can change, and it's going to take time, but here's the way I look at it. See, when you look at any injustice, should it be racism, homophobia, sexism, all of those things. So, say you were somewhere and somebody was being homophobic, for example, or racist, whatever, would you be cool with that? Would you take part in it? No. So, that's how I feel. Even though the whole society are paying for animals to be killed and slaughtered, I don't think it's cool. So I don't want to be part of it. So I've removed myself. I've abstained from buying those products, and I just go into a shop and I buy the vegan products instead. Should it be food or clothing or whatever? You go into Superdrug, all their own branded products for cosmetics are vegan products. You know, so you can buy deodorants, and I don't know if you put gel in your hair or what you use, man, but you can buy vegan products for absolutely everything. They cost exactly the same. If you drink coffee, you just put oat milk on your coffee. It tastes a little bit, I'd argue it tastes better than cow's milk. You know, so it's just a couple of weeks or 3 weeks of saying, right, you don't even need to label yourself. I don't care if somebody calls me vegan or not. I'm going to abstain. Everybody else can do it, but I'm not going to be part with that, because I don't think it's cool to throw pigs in gas chambers. I don't think it's cool to kill baby lambs at 14 weeks old. Man, we tiny baby lambs that we eat are killed at 14 weeks old. 4 months, I think it is. Crazy, man. So I don't want to be part of that. So I just remove my money. I'm not supporting it, and I just buy the vegan, plant-based products instead. What do you think of all that? We're thinking about.
It's a
I know it's hard to get your head around, you probably never thought of it before, but I think you would admit that it's definitely worth considering and something that you probably should think about when you see the level and hear about the level of suffering of animals. Do you not think so? Anything final you want to say, or?
There's things I want to say, but it's more on the political side.
Yeah.
Say a country is at war with another country.
Yeah.
And you're saying, oh, this is bad, let's stop this.
Yeah.
But clearly the war has started for a reason.
Yeah.
There's no pulling out of a war once you started it. Unless
So I see war as different.
everyone agrees with it.
Yeah. I see war as different. Because say Britain goes to war with some country for some reason and I don't agree with it, what can I do about that?
You can't disagree against it.
Fuck all. I can't do anything about it. But I'm not part of that war, and I'm not supporting that war. In fact, I can be vocal and say I'm against that war. Even though my government have decided that that's what we're going to do, I'm against it, and I can speak out against it, but there's not much I can do. But I am not actively part of it. Whereas when you look at the animal situation, if I'm buying the product, then I am literally part of it. I am paying people to do things to animals that I would never do myself. So, would you ever, so say you're having a barbecue, right? And I brought you a lamb, a 14-week-old lamb, and said, here's a lamb and here's a knife. Cut that lamb's throat and we'll stick it on the barbecue. Would you be able to do that?
Now that you mentioned that, I actually have seen that.
Yeah, but would you be able to do it?
Never.
No. So, when you buy the product, you're paying somebody else to do it for you. That's how I see it. And I'm not trying to guilt trip you, Mum, but that's the reality of supply and demand. Like when you buy a product, you're paying and funding and supporting something with your money. So that's what I'm saying, abstain from these industries, and if you don't think it's cool to harm animals for an unnecessary reason, which it is in this country, it's completely unnecessary, then consider abstaining from it and just buy something else instead. It might sound like shit, I have to give up this and this, but man, see when you go vegan inside 2 or 3 weeks, once you learn, you're not giving, there's nothing you eat that I don't eat. I just eat a vegan version. I can go up to that market now and I can buy pizza, sandwiches, burritos, I can buy chilies, I can buy curries, just buy the vegan version. And London, man, compared to home, it's everywhere you go, it's vegan food. So give it some thought. I appreciate the conversation, and I'm going to give you a card before you go, which are in my coat pocket. Can you give me 1 second? I get a card. I'm an animal rights activist, by the way, so when I said to you I go into farms and slaughterhouses and stuff, I do it all. I'm out trying to encourage as many people to go vegan and remove their money from these industries, man, because I think they're terrible. They are terrible. So this is my YouTube here, my Instagram. See this Game Changers one here? This is the one that follows the sports people who are all vegan and shows you how good it is for your health. These two show you how the animal agriculture and the fishing industry are fucking up the planet. And then one at the bottom I asked everybody to watch. It's a speech by this guy here on YouTube, free to watch, 40 minutes long. Changed my life, man, a few years ago, so hang on to that card. Watch that speech sometime, and if you're into the sport, Game Changers here. I'm going to find out the player's name. Adam, what was the Arsenal player that was vegan a couple of years back? Long hair. No, you don't remember? Yeah. Anyway, there was an Arsenal player a couple of years ago who was fully vegan and he was playing in the Premiership. So the name Ballerini or something rings a bell. No, is that?
Hector Bellerin.
Yes, Hector Bellerin. That's the guy. Vegan. He is vegan, man, and he's vegan for the animals. He's not for diet-wise. So.
Hector Bellerin.
Yeah, that's him. He just got it. So there you go. So he's playing in the Premiership as a vegan. You could do it too, man. I appreciate you. Check that out when you get home, or this weekend or something. Have a good day, man.